Hello guys, what's up? This is Sir EJ and welcome again to another math tutorial. In today's topic, we will be discussing the measures of position of ungrouped data using the linear interpolation. On our last video, we already discussed the part 1 of the measures of position, wherein we have discussed that measures of position are techniques that divides a set of data into equal groups. And we have already discussed also the different kinds of measures of position, such as the quartiles, and quartiles divides a set of data into 4 equal groups. Also, we have the deciles, and when we say deciles, it divides a set of data into 10 equal groups. And the last one is the percentiles, wherein it is a technique that divides a set of data into 100 equal groups. And also, from our last video, we have discussed how to compute the measures of position using the Mendenhall and Sincich method. But this time, in this video, we will be discussing how to solve the measures of position using the interpolation method. These are the formulas that we will be using for today's topic. If we will try to locate the position of the quartiles, we will be using the formula Q sub k is equal to k times the quantity n plus 1 all over 4. If we will try to locate the position of the decile, we will be using the formula d sub k is equal to k times the quantity n plus 1 all over 10. And for the percentiles, we will be using the formula p sub k is equal to k times the quantity n plus 1 all over 100. So let's have the following steps that we need to follow to solve for the measures of position using the linear interpolation. The first step is to arrange the number in ascending order, from the lowest up to the highest scores. And then the next step is to locate the position of the score in the distribution. The third step is to find the difference between the two values wherein Q sub k or D sub k or P sub k is situated. And then for step 4, we will get the decimal part result in step 2 and multiply it with the result in step 3. And for the last step, we will add the result in step 4 to the smallest number in step 3 and get the value of Q sub k or D sub k or P sub k. Let's apply these steps with an example for you to be able to understand it. Let's now have our first example. These are the scores of 13 students of G10 marks in a 20-item test. Let's try to solve for the value of quartile 1. These are the following scores of the 13 students who took the exam. The first step is to arrange these numbers in ascending order, from the lowest number up to the highest number. After we have arranged these numbers in ascending order, we will now locate the position of the score in the distribution by using the formula of quartile sub k is equal to k over 4 times the quantity n plus 1 because we are looking for the lower quartile. All we need to do is to substitute the value of k, and the value of k will be the number besides the quartile, and that is equal to 1. So this will become quartile sub 1 is equal to the value of k is 1 all over 4 times the quantity. The value of n is equal to the number of students who took the exam, and that is equal to 13. Then copy plus 1. We will simplify this equation by adding these two numbers. 13 plus 1 will be equal to 14, and then 1 times 14 is equal to 14. 14 divided by 4 is equal to 3.5. Therefore, the location of quartile 1 is at 3.5th position. Now, after this, we will now apply the linear interpolation. And then that is for the step 3. That is to find the difference between the two values wherein quartile 1 is situated. Meaning to say, if the value of our quartile 1 is equal to 3.5, we will get the third and the fourth number because 3.5 is in between the third and the fourth number, and we will subtract it with each other. So we have 11 minus 9, and that is equal to 2. And then after we have get the difference of the two numbers wherein quartile 1 is situated, we will now get the decimal part result in step 2. This is step 2, and multiply it with the result in step 3. This is step 3. Meaning to say we will multiply the decimal part in step 2, which is zero point 0.5, and multiply it with the result of step 3, and that is equal to 2. So we have 0.5 times 2 is equal to 1. And then for the last step, we will now add the result in step 4. This is step 4, and the result in step 4 is equal to 1. And we will add it with the smallest number in step 3. So we have the smallest number in step 3, we have 11 and 9. Obviously, the smallest number is 9. So we will add 1 plus 9, and that is equal to 10. Therefore, the value of quartile 1 or the lower quartile is equal to 10. Let's have our next example. These are the scores of 13 students of G10 Berkeley in a 20-item test. This time, let's try to find the value of percentile 45 using the following scores. Again, the first step is to arrange the scores in ascending order, meaning to say from the lowest score up to the highest score. After you have arranged these scores, we will now proceed with step 2, and that is to locate the position of the score in the distribution. For this example, we will be solving for the percentile 45, and we will be using the formula of percentile, and that is percentile sub k is equal to k over 100 times the quantity n plus 1. We will be substituting the value of k, and that is equal to 45. So this will become p sub 45 is equal to 45 over 100 this time, because percentile is divided into 100 equal parts. Therefore, this is over 100 times the quantity n is equal to the number of students, which is equal to 13 plus 1. And then for the next step, we will simplify this equation by adding these numbers. 13 plus 1 will be equal to 14. 45 times 14 divided by 100, and that is equal to 6.3. So the position of percentile 45 is at 6.3 position. After that, we will now find the difference between the two values wherein percentile 45 is situated. Percentile 45 is situated somewhere in between the 6th and the 7th number. So we will count in this set of scores. This is the first number, the second one, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the 6th and the 7th number. So we will get the 6th and the 7th number, that is 14 and 15 respectively, and we will get the difference of these two. We have 15 minus 14, and that is equal to 1. The next step is to get the decimal part of the result in step 2, and that is equal to 0.3. And we will multiply it with the result in step 3, which is equal to 1. So therefore, 0.3 times 1 is equal to 0.3. And then after that, for the last step, we will add the result of step 4 to the smallest number in step 3. So we have the result in step 4 that is equal to 0.3, and the smallest number in step 3 we have 15 and 14, so the smaller one will be equal to 14. So we have 0.3 plus 14, and that is equal to 14.3. Therefore, the value of percentile 45 is equal to 14.3. And if we will try to interpret this, 45% of the students get a score of less than or equal to 14.3. Let's have our next example. These are the scores of 13 students of Jiten Hagel in a 20-item test. This time, let's try to find the value of Decile 7 using the given scores. And the first step is to arrange the scores from lowest up to the highest score. After arranging the scores in ascending order, we will now locate the position of the score in the distribution by using the formula of decile. We have decile sub k is equal to k over 10 times the quantity n plus 1. We will substitute the value of k, and that is simply equal to 7, and the value of n will be equal to 13, which is the total number of students. After we have substitute the corresponding value, we will now simplify the equation. 13 plus 1 will be equal to 14 times 7 over 10. 7 times 14 is equal to 98, and 98 divided by 10 is equal to 9.8. Therefore, the position of decile 7 is located at 9.8 position. And after this, we will now proceed with step 3, and we will find the difference between the two values wherein decile 7 is situated. The value of decile 7 is 9.8. Therefore, the decile 7 is situated in between the 9th and the 10th number of this set of numbers. So we will count the 9th and the 10th number. So this one is the first one, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and this one will be the 10th number. So we will get the difference of these two numbers. So we have 18 minus 17 is equal to 1. After that, after we have get the difference of these two numbers, we will now get the decimal part result in our step 2, and that is equal to 0.8, and we will multiply it with the result in step 3, and that is equal to 1. So we have 0.8 times 1 is equal to 0.8. And then for the last step, we will now add the result in step 4, that is equal to 0.8 to the smallest number in step 3 to get the value of decile 7. So the numbers in step 3 is 18 and 17, and the smallest number here is 17. Therefore, 17 plus 0.8 will be equal to 17.8. So the value of decile 7 is equal to 17.8. Let's have another example. These are the age of 16 math teachers of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School. Let's try to find the value of the quartile 3 or the upper quartile this time. So from these given scores, the first step is to arrange the numbers or scores in ascending order, from the lowest score up to the highest score. After arranging the numbers in ascending order, we will now locate the position of the score in the distribution. Since we are looking for the upper quartile, we will be using the formula of the quartile to locate the position. We have Q sub k is equal to k over 4 times the quantity n plus 1. We will substitute the corresponding value. The value of k will be equal to 3, and the value of n will be equal to 16, the total number of math teachers of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School. We will simplify this equation. 16 plus 1 will be equal to 17, and then we will multiply it by 3/4. So 17 times 3/4 is equal to 12.75. And then after this, we will now find the difference between the two values wherein quartile 3 is situated. So quartile 3 is situated somewhere in between the 12 and the 13th number. So we will count the 12 and the 13th number in this set of scores, the one that we have arranged in ascending order. This will be the first one, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So the numbers are 51 and 54. We will subtract these two numbers, 54 minus 51, and that is equal to 3. After that, for step 4, we will now get the decimal part of the answer that we have get in step 2, and that is equal to 0.75, and we will multiply it with the result that we have get in step 3, and that is equal to 3. We have 0.75 times 3, and that is equal to 2.25. And then for the last step, we will add the result in step 4, which is equal to 2.25 by the smallest number that we have get in step 3, and that is equal to 51. Because 51 is less than 54, therefore this is the small number. So adding these two numbers, 2.25 plus 51 will be equal to 53.25. Therefore, the value of the upper quartile is equal to 53.25. Let's have another one. Using the same example, this time let's try to find the value of decile 4. So after arranging the numbers in ascending order, we will now perform step 2, and that is to locate the position of the score in the distribution by using the formula of decile, which is decile sub k is equal to k over 10 times the quantity n plus 1. We will be substituting the value of k, which is equal to 4. So we have d sub 4 is equal to the value of k is 4 all over 10 times the value of n, which is the number of teachers of Jayans, and that is equal to 16 plus 1. Then after that, we will simplify this equation. 16 plus 1 will be equal to 17. 4 times 17 divided by 10 will be equal to 6.8. Therefore, the location of decile sub 4 is equal to 6.8. After this, we will now find the difference between the two values wherein decile sub 4 is situated. Decile sub 4 is situated somewhere in between the 6th and the 7th number, because decile sub 4 is equal to 6.8. So it is in between the 6th and the 7th number. So we will locate the 6th and the 7th number here in step 1. So we have, this is the first number, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, and this one will be the 7th number. So we will be subtracting these two numbers. 37 minus 35 will be equal to 2. And then after that, for step 4, we will get the decimal part of the result in step 2, which is equal to 0.8, and multiply it with the result in step 3. We have 0.8 times 2 is equal to 1.6, and for the last step, we will be adding the result of step 4, which is 1.6, with the smallest number here that we have subtract in step 3, which is equal to 35. So we have 1.6 plus 35, and that is equal to 36.6. Therefore, the value of decile 4 is 36.6, and if we will try to interpret this, 40% of the math teachers of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School has an age of less than or equal to 36.6. Let's have our last example. Using the same given, We will now try to solve the value of percentile sub 88. So arranging the numbers in ascending order from the lowest score up to the highest score, followed by step 2, and that is to locate the position of the score in the distribution by using the formula of percentile this time. We have percentile sub 88 is equal to k over 100 times the quantity n plus 1. And then after that, we will be substituting the corresponding value. The value of k is equal to 88. So this will be p sub 88 equals to 88 over 100 times the quantity. The value of n is equal to 16, the number of math teachers of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School, plus 1. We will simplify this equation by adding these two numbers, 16 plus 1, and that is equal to 17. 17 times 88, then divide the answer by 100. That is equal to 14.96. And then for the next step, step 3, we will find the difference between the two values wherein P sub 88 is situated. In this case, the value of P sub 88 is 14.96, so P sub 88 is somewhere in between the 14th and the 15th number. We will locate the 14th and the 15th number here in step 1. So we have the first number, the second, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and the 15th number. So we have 58 and 62. And we will get the difference of these two numbers. We have 62 minus 58, and that is equal to 4. After that, for step 4, we will multiply the decimal part of the result in step 2, which is equal to 0.96, with the result in step 3, which is equal to 4. So we have 0.96 times 4, and that is equal to 3.84. Finally, we will get the result in step 4, which is 3.84, and we will add it with the smallest number that we have subtract here in step 3, and that is 58. We have 3.84 plus 58, and that is equal to 61.84. Therefore, the value of percentile sub 88 is equal to 61.84. And if we will try to interpret this, 88% of the math teachers of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School has an age of less than or equal to 61.84.